Welcome viewers to this demonstration race with the AC Legends GTC mod from Baza, and we're driving on Reims 1930s version, the latest creation from Sergio Loro, the F3 classic track designer, who has made spectacular tracks in the past already, but I'm sure you all know that. Things are getting pear-shaped on the left already. But this is a demonstration race for a new Assetto Corsa series that I'm going to do, starting on all Thursdays, January 9th, 2025. And I'm glad to announce that Kathleen Penny, our Assetto Corsa broadcaster, has gracefully agreed to broadcast all 6 events of this series for us. She has been the broadcaster for almost all Assetto Corsa series that I've done in the past. She was always there broadcasting the series, almost always, and always gave a lot of exciting atmosphere to the races. We always enjoyed very much watching all the races afterwards and reliving all the moments. So she's on board. Good news. That elevates the series always, also. And we're going to do 6 events in this series. The first event on the 9th of January 2025 is this track, Reims 1930. Whoa. Traffic jam in the middle of the last long stretch. I know why. They're all bunched up together, and that is a tight corner. But Reims 1930s, this is designed as it would be in the 1930s era. But I've read online that GT cars were still racing in the 60s on the Reims for endurance races, even though the last Formula 1 race was in 1961, I think, from memory, not sure. But GT cars were still racing on this track up until the late 60s, so it's kind of fitting that these cars, these AC Legends cars from the 60s, are driving this track. That doesn't insult the time spirit. It fits. Next track is Banoch Bray, the converted track from Project Cars 2. That Scottish track that everybody loves so much. That is now also in Assetto Corsa. So that's number 2. And we're going to... What's he going to do? Okay, well, let him go. I'll probably get him on this next long straight. Then we're going to Clermont-Ferrand, the 1965 version from Rainmaker, track designer. And what's next? What was Veldberging from Vet Elfie, Bremgarden from Vet Elfie, and last but not least Kleine Nordschleifer. And Kleine Nordschleifer translate, as I'm slipstreaming and passing that Porsche there, translate as Little Nordschleifer. It's a pretty recent track. Ooh, I did so much distance to break that car because it's so heavy. This is the Mercedes 300 SL from this car pack. It's a kind of heavy muscle car, as you can hear by the engine noise. I picked this car for this demonstration because the engine noise is so lovely. But the kleine Nordschleife, that's the designers basically took all the good parts of the Nordschleife and combined them with some connection stretches to make up a whole track. The track can now be driven in 3 minutes something, and it's a lot of fun. So you got all the good parts of the Nordschleife with some connection stretches and elevation changes, fast corners, slow corners. It's pretty cool. So that's into. Now the cars are not BOP'd in the relation to each other, but they're more or less BOP'd by track. And from all those tracks that I just mentioned, you have some high-speed tracks and some medium-speed tracks, and you're gonna have to choose your car in relation to all those tracks. If you want to excel on the high-speed tracks like this track Reims and Brem Garden, then you're gonna need a heavy muscle car. But you might be handicapped by that heavy muscle car on the medium speed tracks, because taking the slow corners in sector 1 of Clermont-Ferrand with a heavy muscle car is not going to be enjoyable. You're going to have to survive, even though the second and third sector are a bit more high speed. But those are the things you have to think about with your car choice, so it has to be technical. Wow! Okay, let's call it. I brake too late there. And damage, thank you, Mr. Healy. So you're gonna have to be tactical with your car choice. If you want to excel on the medium speed tracks like Bray and Clermont-Ferrand, then you might be better off with a lightweight and just suck it up on the high speed tracks if you're in a lightweight car for those rounds. If you take a good line into this first high speed right-hander, you can stay flat on the gas. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it because this car has a pretty steep braking distance. You see that? All that dust that I'm kicking up in the mirror. If you've got someone behind you trying to overtake you, and you put your cars just outside the apex, they're gonna have a mouthful of dust. I've raced behind cars on this track who did that. That's quite disorientating. So you can use that in your psychological warfare with your cars behind. But don't say you got it from me. Okay, I'm gonna try to point out the braking points and turning in points for this track, because it's not that obvious everywhere. So the first braking point is on this long straight is a green 30s Ford there on the left side, and then the last hay bale on the left there. That's your braking point for heavy muscle cars that are quite heavy. They need all that braking distance to stop the car for this very, very slow right-hander. And then we're coming up to the main start-finish straight. I like this straight because initially you've got nothing on the left and right side, but then the grandstand looms in the distance and you see the pit lane area and you get a feeling of coming home again, and then the pit lane and the grandstand flashes by, you get that tremendous feeling of speed, and then that car on the left side there, that's your indicator to turn in. Well, not that car precisely, not level with that car, but let's say 2 telegraph poles before that car, that's your turning in point. If you take a good line into that first corner, you can stay flat as a bed. So this corner is basically flat out, and now comes the most dangerous corner of the circuit. This corner, you have to lift here, because if you go in too fast, you're going to slither off the slope on the left side, and you're going to need all this road before the hay bale's there to get back. Now, also lift a little bit here, and then that black spectator on the left side there, that's your braking point for heavy muscle cars. You see how much braking distance I need to stop that car. And the Bisorini is even heavier. It's even more distance. That is a Jaguar lightweight or a Jaguar Le Mans in front of me. It's also pretty good on high-speed tracks. So watch for the green Ford on the left, and then the last hay bale here on the left side. Brake. It seems deceptive that I'm approaching this corner so slow, because I was too late now actually, or didn't brake severe enough. But you approach that corner quite slowly. You think, well, that could have been done a little faster. But the car is so heavy, you really need the length of that braking distance to stop the car. The lighter weight cars can brake pretty much later. So, watch for the car on the left side, and the 2 telegraph poles before is your turning in point. If you do that correctly, you can stay flat on the gas. I'm braking here, I'm lifting a little bit here because I wasn't sure of the speed of those 2 in front of me. That's an Alfa Romeo 33, and then that Jaguar again. This corner is flat out, and you have to lift for that, and maybe even shift back 1 gear for this corner here. Be careful not to run too wide and slide off the slope there. There's a Dutch patch here, there's a dust patch here that I use for my turning in point. The Jaguar is much better out of the corner than I was. So it's gonna be difficult to slipstream him enough to overtake him by the end of this long straight. So watch for the green Ford on the left side. That's your reminder that the braking point is coming up. Now, you see the hay bales on the right side. The first one after my braking marker, the first hay bale on the right side, is actually the brake marker for the lighter weight cars. If you stop the car and look at the spectators, they are all also images from the 1930s, all dressed as people would do in the 1930s. 1930s figures, so to speak. So for this next, the brake marker is where the hatches begin on the right. There, they have to brake and shift down. You also have to be careful not to shift down too fast, because if you are shifting down too high in the revs, you either blow your engine in the course of time, or immediately. Passing that Jaguar now. If you shift down too high in the revs, you blow your engine in the course of time, or you blow your engine immediately. So you have to be careful about that, because the engine of these cars will blow if you mistreat them. You have to look at your rev gauge on the dashboard and keep an eye on it to make sure that you're not shifting down when the dial is still too high up. But if you're aware of that, then it shouldn't be a problem. I've blown a few engines of a few cars on this track because I wasn't looking at my dashboard to see where the revs were. I like how dirty the road is. That gives a feeling of realism. That's actually a used road. So watch for the hatches on the right side that are coming up. No, that's your braking point. Too late. Bang. I think I didn't brake severe enough, because the braking point was correct, but I didn't brake severe enough. So there's still some cars in front of me. I wasn't planning on making such a long demonstration race, but it's so much fun driving this track. And just keep going and blubbering. Little lift on the Dutch patch, first Dutch patch there, I think. Then the spectators in black, those two there on the left side. Brake marker. Hard on the brakes. You can't see that, but I'm hard on the brakes to stop the car. And I try to be as fast as I can back on the accelerator to make up for that lost time in the braking area. Well, I'll try to point out where the braking point for the lightweight cars is. Go past braking there, that first table on the right side. Also have to be careful not to put all four wheels outside of the track, or your time will be deleted as a track cut. This track doesn't make any jokes about that. all four wheels out, time deleted. Let's go into the pits and see how that works. can actually cut into the pit lane anywhere you want without penalty. But then you have to be aware that your pit box will only show when you enter the pit lane. So if you're not quite sure where your pit box is and you enter just anywhere, you could be past your pit box already, and it will show in your rear view mirror. So if you don't want to overshoot your pit box, you better come in at the beginning, because it will only pop up as soon as you enter the pit lane. So the series is on all Thursdays. First event, this track Reims on January 25. And sign up. I hope we have a big field, and I hope to see you there. Peace. Bye bye.